Hey guys, not the next upload of content I was planning to do, but here we are. I want to see something. This is my first review of any movie, so y'all be nice, and I mean be nice. We'll be reviewing, or rather, I'll be reviewing, the Salt and Pepper movie, which aired on January 23rd, 2021. First, a little background. They came on the scene in 1987 or around there with their debut single Push It. And the rest is history. Those who know, know. We also need to talk about Miss Spinderella on IG saying she's not supporting the movie. Again, for those who know, you know, another story for another time. So who watched the movie? Did you like, love, or hate it? For me, it's no comment. Question, why was this movie so long? Almost 3 hours long. I'm going to break it down in 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to say 10 minutes max. All right, let's get started. It starts out in 2005 with Cheryl and Sandy arriving to the VH1 Hip Hop Honors to perform. Mind you, they haven't spoken in over 4 years. Then we run back to 20 years to see their humble beginnings. They meet at Queensborough College. Sandy finds out Cheryl is recruiting for her job, and Cheryl helps Sandy get in. Believe it was the Sears call center. Anywho, on Sandy's first day, we see Kid and Play with the infamous Martin Lawrence. They all worked in the marketing department. Who knew? We also see Herbie Lovebug and Cheryl in what is to be the studio back in the day. They're running through some verses for a track. They were a couple during this time. Herbie came to the conclusion that him on that track wasn't going to cut it, so he suggested to Cheryl that they bring in another female rapper to become a duo for the track. After that, we see Cheryl and Sandy in the car. Sandy is telling Cheryl about her relationship she had with her dad and how she always wanted to make him proud. Cheryl speaks Herbie. Herbie is her everything. I mean, this woman lives and breathes for this man. They end up at the strip club and become good girlfriends. Finally, Cheryl gets Sandy in the studio with Herbie Lovebug. And can I say, first impressions are lasting. It was rumored that Herbie was not easy to work with, and I am seeing why. The song was a diss track for Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick. It worked. It hit locally. They got their song on the radio. They were really becoming known. He decided to name them Salt and Pepper. They began to get booked to do shows and are becoming well known, very well known. They get invited to the Crush Groove release party. Herbie notices Sandy is being a little bit groupie-ish, calling Sandy very ghetto to Cheryl. You see someone eyeing them in the background. He then comes up and snaps a picture of them. Who does that? Then proceeds to tell them, I'll get back to you. We're going to call him Too Sweet Daddy Slick. I did say 5 to 10 minutes max. We're going to try to stick to that. Moving along, we see Cheryl and Herbie going to Plateau record label trying to get a deal. Long story short, they get offered $5,000 for the next single and $9,000 for the album. Herbie wanted and got the 6 points and left Cheryl to decide what Sandy gets if she gets anything. Later on, they show up at a gig to perform and could not get in. The bouncer tells them, Salt and Pepper are already there, dear, so beat it, okay? Herbie sneaks in the back door to see Mr. Too Sweet Daddy Slick and 2 girls up on stage performing as who? Salt and Pepper. Mr. Too Sweet Daddy Slick, he's been booking these girls and getting paid to do so. This goes left real fast. He lets everybody know they are not Salt and Pepper. Not Salt and Pepper, okay? They are being scammed. A chase ensues, and they catch up with Herbie in the back of the club. Herbie gets his ass beat. I mean, beat down. And Miss Cheryl takes one for the team. What was she thinking, jumping in a fight with 3 to 4 men whooping her man ass? I don't know. What was she gonna do? Get knocked out. Out cold. I mean, sleeping on the pavement. All right? I'm not advocating violence to black women or any woman for that, but it was in the script, so we're going to speak on it because it was the punch she took for me. After that altercation, Herbie decides he better get a team. So they get together with some of his people, all right? They agree and they decide to get them some pictures out there so they know who Salt and Pepper actually are. He also decides to trademark their name. He apologizes for Mr. Too Sweet Daddy Slick because he did on one time reach out to them to try to get help. This is when we meet the first Spinderella. Her name is LaToya, and she don't know jack about being a DJ. This was the first light bulb that Miss Cheryl should have seen. They were not feeling her. She didn't know what she was doing. And Cheryl notices that there was too much concern for Miss LaToya from Mr. Herbie. He eventually fires her with the nagging and grueling from Cheryl. So then they move forward to get a new DJ. This is the second Spinderella, the one that we know. Remember the one that said, I'm not going to be supporting that movie? I didn't know she was that young. Eventually, they go on tour. While on tour, Sandy wants to go out and party. Cheryl going to stay in, believing that Mr. Herbie is out on business. Spinderella's not going anywhere. Girl, you still a minor. Go sit down somewhere. Sit down, okay? Miss Sandy, while she's out partying and doing her, she runs into who? Mr. Herbie. With who? The next one. Probably the next one of many. He's caught, and what does he do? Threatens to toss Sandy ghetto ass out the group. Yes, he did. All right? So now, when they get back in the studio, he starts riding Sandy back hard. Okay? Very hard. Then the phone rings. Miss Cheryl. Girl, if you didn't know, now you know. Some random's on the phone to tell her, I need to speak to Herbie. She wants to know who this is. She tells her, the random that is, don't worry about it. And by the way, tell him to change those sheets in the studio. Really? Okay. We're going to move forward to the Wipeout tour. Sandy meets up with one of the guys, and I believe he's from her team. He tells her she needs to renegotiate her contract. In other words, y'all are being played. God. Herbie is getting all the money, and y'all are getting pennies on the dollar. She finally talks to Cheryl about the renegotiation, so they're going to try to renegotiate. Guess what? They did, and it worked. We finally see everybody living well. They done bought their mansions and their houses, whatever they needed to floss. We also see Miss Cheryl in the background holding a baby. Come to find out it was Herbie's cheat baby. I bet you know now, boo-boo. They break up because now Cheryl can no longer take it. This is where her breakdowns begin. Later on, she even develops eating disorders, which is not cool. Shooting forward to Sandy. She's in the hospital getting ready to have a baby because she's in labor with some random dude she met that now doesn't want nothing to do with her nor the baby. Once Cheryl gets there, they decide, with everything that's going on, this is not working. It got to be about us, girl power, black girl magic, and all of that. Cheryl eventually meets back up with an old friend named Garen. They get together, and Miss Sandy hooks up with the infamous Tretch from Naughty by Nature. Side note for the ladies, did you guys ever see the 2002 movie with Tretch loving a bullet? A must see. We all know Meg's song Body Yaddy Yaddy. I'm just saying, go check it out. I digress. All right, guys, I'm back. They had a very toxic relationship, Sandy and Tretch, all right? They're still blowing up. Then the questioning about the group with Cheryl is really weighing heavy on her. Sandy's all in, Cheryl not so much. We see them getting ready for the Essence Award with Miss Susan Taylor. Who remembers her? The lady that always wore the cornrows going back? I might really be telling my age here. Susan doesn't want them to perform none of your business. They wanted to perform it, and they did, and Miss Susan left. Cheryl has another breakdown, I guess because all of the stress, doing the Essence Awards, fighting over what's to be performed, not good look. After that, we see that they were invited to the Arsenio Hall show, and Cheryl is pregnant. Yes, she's pregnant. The problem is she didn't want anyone to know by whom, so she let everyone assume what they wanted to assume, and that would be that was Mr. Herbie's baby. This causes a problem between her and Gavin, and they break up. Anywho, they do get back together later. Finally, new label. They had to take Mr. Herbie to court. They won. Business as usual. Sandy doing Sandy, not showing up for studio work and everything that she's supposed to do doing her part. Cheryl confronts her about it, and here go the breakdowns again. This girl, She going through it. Finally, they go on tour. Cheryl is pregnant again and very reluctant. Now, Sandy is worried about her bills. Now it's her bills. Didn't want to show up for rehearsal, but now you're worried about bills. Fine. Cheryl's very concerned about performing, all right? But she does it. She gets on stage pregnant, and my girl falls. This is where the concern is really on its highest level. She decides to get checked out by the doctor, and she and the baby are okay, thank God. She's getting more involved in the church and not feeling the group anymore. Fun fact, y'all remember when Salt was featured on Kirk Franklin's songs? Stomp, and there was a few others, one or two, I believe. Just a fun fact. All right, I'm back. Tretch and Sandy finally break up. Poor Sandy. Tretch, I'm sorry. I'm back. She reaches out to Cheryl and lets her know that the group is done. Not Sandy. Reverse that. Cheryl reaches out to Sandy and she's done with the group. I can't do this no more. Salt continues to be going through it and Sandy as well. They just trying to make it separate, live their life, start a new life. Finally, VH1 reaches out to Gavin about VH1 honors. All right, because he wants them to come to perform. That's where the movie comes in, and that's where it starts in 2005, with them arriving at VH1 honors because they were the ones being honored. Done. How did I do, guys? Keep your comments respectful, and I told y'all to be nice. Thanks. Bye.